If you could accept feeling good, if you could hear this one thing. Strange we offer so many things when there's only one thing we really want you to know. You want to feel good. Don't do it for the manifestation. Do it for the feeling good. And then the magic begins. And then, in time, you begin to notice the correlation between how you're feeling and what happens next. When you understand, now you have power. But if you don't understand how the universe works, and you don't understand what vibrations are, and you don't understand what resisted, contradicted vibrations feel like, and you don't understand what being plugged in feels like, then you have no power. But when you do, even when you're standing in a negative place, you are still empowered. Most people offer most of their vibration in response to something that they are observing. So when you're observing a condition that is pleasing, it might plug you in. But when you're observing a condition that isn't pleasing, it might unplug you. And so that's why we would rather that you care about how you feel than looking for conditions that make you feel better, because that can be a real trap. Oh, I see this and I feel really good, and I see that and I feel really bad, so this condition needs to change so that I can feel better. Now you're in trouble. Now you're acting a bit like much of the world, where you're trying to control the behavior of others so that you can feel better. And freedom only comes when you decide that you don't need anyone or anything to change in order to feel better. And then what happens if you are consistently in harmony with something, and there's something in your experience that you are consistently not in harmony, but you wisely turn your attention from it for just a little while so that you stay plugged in to the content of your own vortex. What happens is law of attraction calls you this way while they're calling the thing that is bothering you in another direction. And that's law of attraction harmony too, isn't it? We think as we tell you these things that that's going to help you. So your inner being, we've been describing your inner being as being in the vortex. So here's your inner being, aware of you. Do you believe it when we say that? Non-physical source, aware of you. So not just those in your family who are now dearly departed, not just those in your own lineage, but all kinds of creators and entrepreneurs and masters and healers and teachers and lovers. This is something that most physical beings don't understand. You are on the leading edge, and all that is non-physical is focused forward here with you. No one's reminiscing about the good old days, because these are the good new days. No one's feeling any nostalgia for another time. Everyone's reveling in the potency of what's going on here and now. So here you are, sifting through life and coming to some conclusions, and all of this non-physical energy focused upon the conclusions that you've come to, and believing you, taking you at your vibrational word, that when you knew what you didn't want, you knew what you did want. And so focusing upon the purity of what you do want. All eyes on you. But not just on the vortex version of you, on the physical version of you too, because in this non-physical energy stream, as we are looking at you, even if you are out of sync with who you really are, we still behold you as you really are. So we're holding a vibrational frequency for you that makes it easier, more possible for you to click into who you really are. So this is the part that we know that you'll like. In every moment, as you are contemplating something, as you rest in the interest of that contemplation, just stop for a moment and think about all of us who are thinking these thoughts with you. Think about yourself for just a little while, being the receiver of that broad knowing, and feel the non-physical knowledge flowing to you. But you know what? You must be the interpreter of it. In other words, it doesn't exist without your reception of it. So while we're aware of you and in love with you and adoring where you are going and adoring what you are doing and adoring who you are, if you are outside of that frequency, then you're not in the receptive mode. It's like the story that you tease one another with endlessly. If a tree falls in the forest and there's no one there to hear it, did it make a sound? And the answer is no. There was a vibration, but without ears there to interpret that vibration into the sound of the falling tree, there was no sound. You are the receiver of the sound. So while we are all with you and rooting for you and knowing where you're going and reveling in what you are about, the elation that you feel when you do that is the elation that we're feeling, that you're translating into emotions, which are turning thoughts to things. When you feel joy, that's you translating how we all feel about what you're thinking about right then and there. Don't you love knowing that? You are a powerful being, and there is nothing that you cannot be or do or have. But we don't want you to feel any urgency to get to the being or the doing or the having of it, because that being and doing and having, all of that manifestation is inevitable. We just want you to thrive in the feeling of the energy flowing. So that's how you feel your real power. It's by understanding that your real power is in your connection to your real power. Someone asked us the question the other day. She said, I'm beginning to feel a little irrelevant, sort of like Source is out there thinking lots of thoughts, and that Source doesn't need me. And we said, you've got to be kidding. Because it's you who has explored the contrast, who has asked for the new that we are focused upon. Without your sorting, there would be no new. And do you know how important the new is to eternal beings? Do you understand how important part you play in the sifting and sorting and discovering the new? So the rampage that we would like to give you will speak from your vantage point. I understand that I am the creator of my own experience. And I take that to mean that since I am a vibrational being, that I am the attractor of my experience. And I am understanding more every day that the way I set my receiver into a mode that lets things in is by what I broadcast. So there cannot be a difference in what I broadcast and what I receive. So I've decided to spend no more time looking around for what I need to receive. Instead, I'm going to put my emphasis upon what I am broadcasting. I'm going to revel in the beauty of my time and space. I'm going to revel in the beauty of those who surround me. I'm going to become a broadcasting genius for the singular purpose of feeling good. I'm beginning to understand that my inner being is in perfect alignment with all things that I want, that my inner being holds no resistance anywhere in that vibration, and that when I do, then I cause somewhat of a separation. I also now understand, I really get this, that when I introduce resistance, my inner being does not hold any grudge about it. My inner being still looks at me the same, whether I dip in my energy or not. And because my inner being maintains the frequency of who I really am, no matter what I'm doing, that is the singular reason that I ever feel negative emotion. If my inner being would empathize with me, there would be no deviation or variation in my frequency. And so I would feel no negative emotion. But the very existence of negative emotion means my inner being is here in pure positive energy and looking at me, aware of me, focused with me, powerful me, important me, the same energy that creates worlds, focused through me to assist me in moving in the direction of the things that matter to me. Isn't that thrilling for you to know that? Don't you feel more important in your creating? Do you understand the importance of your alignment and the importance of your standing here in this leading edge time and space? Sometimes you forget, and that's why we are here to remind you, to help you to find the vibrational alignment with the whole of who you are. Because everything is about now. The junction where you and your personality meet the non-physical you is right here and now. And so if the only thing that really is on your mind is, am I meeting? Am I meeting? Am I in sync with my inner being as I'm contemplating this enterprise that I'm involved in? Am I in sync with my inner being as I'm having this conversation with this wonderful person across the table? Am I in sync with my inner being as I am dreaming or imagining or observing or noticing? Am I tapped into my power? Am I utilizing it? These are the only questions that we would be asking if we were standing in your physical shoes. If you ask, how long will it take me? We would say, how long does it take you to get happy and stay there mostly? If you say, how long will it be before I meet my lover? How long will it be before my money comes in? How long will it be before I find a better job? How long will it be before I feel better in my body? How long will it be? How long will it be? As long as it takes for you to convince yourself that you are worthy enough to feel good all of the time. All of the time. Not just some of the time, all of the time. So, I'm the creator of my own reality. I'm a vibrational being from start to finish. I'm an extension of source energy. I've come into this body with powerful reason. The powerful reason that I've come forth with is to explore the contrast that is variety, the contrast that is valuable, the contrast that helps me to focus, the contrast that helps me to decide, the contrast that causes me to put things into my vortex, the contrast that calls my inner being to me, the contrast that creates the desire that my inner being focuses endlessly upon, the desire that is germinating in my vortex that I can feel while I cannot see it, the creation that is there that my inner being is tending, that my inner being is liking, that my inner being is sending me clues about, that my inner being is inspiring me to glimpses about. The reality that is a sure thing. It's a vibrational reality, but it is certain to turn into things that I can see and hear and smell and taste and touch. And in the meantime, the satisfaction of my inner being who sees it all clearly is enough satisfaction for me. And it turns out that every single thing I wanted, whether it is a material object or a state of being or a relationship or a pile of money or a circumstance or an event, it turns out that everything that I have ever wanted, or anyone else as well, everything that I've ever wanted is for one reason only. I think I might feel better in the having of it. And now I've figured out something very important. I've figured out how to feel better even in the not yet having of it. And in the not yet having of it, when that doesn't matter, when I've captured the feeling of it, then not only have I set myself up for happily ever after, but everything that I've ever wanted must come into physical fruition. It must come. You can't miss. There's no way out. You cannot. Soon we will hold seminars on demanifestation. Abraham, all of the things that I've been asking for have come into full fruition. And now each one of them is leading me to a new idea and a new idea and a new idea. I'm beginning to feel greedy because I have such an appetite for more and more and more and more and more wonderful things. And we say, your appetite is not for more things. Your appetite is for more reason to focus with your inner being, who is the energy who creates worlds, you see. You are creators. You will never feel good when you are limp. You will only feel good when you are focused. And when you tap into this energy that creates worlds, your ambitions will soar because you are meant to create your own reality. You didn't come here to lay under a tree and wonder why you're not getting the things that others are getting. You came to create. You are so blessed and so worthy.